Hi, my name is John Dornberg. I work for Advocate Healthcare. I am the Vice President of Physician Services in the Information Systems Department. I received my Master's degree of Management from the J.L. Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University in 1992. I did so through the Managers Program, which is their MBA at Night program. My job is within the Information Systems Department at Advocate here. I'm in charge of the information systems for all of the non-hospital operations, so the employed medical group, the affiliated medical group, our home health group, and a smattering of other organizations. In my role, I'm also a member of the Regional Health Information Exchange, that technology that allows for exchange of information between the different healthcare providers. I'm on the advisory committee, and as of September, assumed chairmanship of the board of that organization. So I do hold that position as well. So to the questions, I guess directly what is most satisfying about the position I'm in is at this point it is awfully fun to be affiliated with an organization like Advocate. We're just counseling one of my direct reports the other day who was talking about the stress, and my point to her was that the stress is here. It's endemic in the industry, healthcare going through radical change. It's endemic in the company we're in. It's endemic in just the fact that we are attempting to fully automate an industry that has resisted full automation while the others went through this in the 80s and 90s. So that stress, in fact, faced one way can be awfully daunting. On the other hand, it's something that drives us forward and allows us to do some pretty neat things, given what we need to get accomplished as the role of healthcare in our society and the role of IT within healthcare changes and morphs and moves forward. The question on keeping current about issues, gosh, I've been doing this job now for 30 years, not in healthcare, NIS generally. What I'm finding is that the role of periodicals, quite frankly, if you read them long enough, it's kind of like if you're a runner and read Runner's World, is that the same articles keep coming around every 3 or 4 years. Be honest with you, the same thing's happening with technology. The technologies change, kind of, the names change, the companies change, the delivery changes, but a lot of the basic concepts don't change and have not changed. And so from a periodical standpoint, I seem to be reading the same articles that I was reading 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, etc. So on the other hand, in an industry that's going through massive change, we do need to keep up to speed. So what I have done is, and what I'm in the practice of, is I have developed very tight vendor partnerships. We have a very small number of very important vendors, and I am on a first name basis and a very regular basis in speaking with their C-suite. In one case on a weekly basis, and another case probably every 2 to 3 weeks. So what I'm looking for is for them to help us with where they see the industry trends and to get their opinions on those industry trends. I'm also a member of the College of Healthcare Information Management Executives, CHIME for short. That is a group of either CIO or a very large organization, one down from CIO executives. I try to attend one of their 2 semi-annual conferences every year. I also have begun to attend the conferences that are important to my internal customers, specifically the American Medical Group Association conference and the Group Practice Information Network conferences as well. Those are specific to non-hospital based healthcare operations. So what I find is that it is far more important for me to keep in touch with the industry, healthcare industry trends and activities than IT, because again, yeah, once you get to a certain level of abstraction, metaphorically, the IT industry is just not changing that much on a year-to-year, decade-to-decade basis. Most of the ideas that we have are had in the 90s and 80s are perfectly applicable today. So, the benefit of having an advanced degree, and this kind of goes to the last questions, which has which goes with the advice, and so I'll start with kind of the advice side, because it dovetails back in. When I was wrapping up my MBA, for better for worse, I was hoping for a kind of a big bang moment with regards to my career, and I was counseled by an individual who was probably 2 decades my senior, who also had an MBA, and the counseling was that I should not be expecting that big bang, but rather I should be looking for the beginning of a gentle year-over-year inflection in the trajectory of my career. And the reason is that the act of getting the MBA did not make me a different person. Now, quite frankly, you could get an MBA, and if your MBA has nothing to do with what your current job is, and you go out and find another job. For instance, I had been courted to potentially be a bond trader at the end of my master's degree. Now that would have created a huge inflection up or down in my career and my earning potential. I chose not to go in that direction and stay on the path I was on. But if you're staying on the path you are on, you will see a gentle inflection, and if you're paying attention, you'll see it and you'll feel it. And the reason is because the act of going to school fundamentally makes you a different professional worker. It gives you a different set of skill sets. And those skill sets begin to pay dividends. They don't pay dividends in large chunks in one-time events. They pay dividends 5 minutes every day. Now, what you have to do is you have to be patient and willing to put up with the 5-minute increments, because, in fact, they do add up, and they do add up quickly. I can tell you that I am probably making double what I would have made as a conservative estimate as a result of the additive effects of the 5-minute daily increments. In fact, I just had this conversation with my wife about a month ago, talking about where I'm at, what I'm doing, my view of the world, my interest in becoming an executive. That all changed as a result of going through the master's degree program, associating with different people, understanding different things. For instance, as an engineer, I have an aptitude for accounting, but I did not understand how to read a balance sheet. It wasn't hard for me to learn, but the fact is there are very few people who understand how to read a balance sheet and income statement. I walk into all of my jobs with that, without having to be trained to do that. Now, as an executive, that is, frankly, expected of me. But as a first-line manager and as a first-line director, that was not expected. It was expected that I was going to learn, and that was already there. I also have, in fact, at least some intuition around how to run a marketing campaign. Am I good at it? Absolutely not. But can I talk to the marketing people, understand what they're talking about, and work with them to undergo a marketing campaign, and then help support them in their work? Yes. Those are the kinds of things, those one-off abilities to move forward. So, again, the point is that by getting the advanced degree, you've changed yourself. You should not be looking for a strong inflection up, but you will notice that the 5 minutes at a time, year in, year out, you will see an upward movement if that's if you so desire. Um, Lastly, what should you do? In the same vein, it's the life experience that allows for the 5 minutes a day inflection. That one life experience. If you choose, you can choose to continue that life experience in different contexts. My career has not been linear. I have done a number of different things from owning and starting my own software company and selling it, to owning a consulting organization, and well, the dot-com collapse took care of that. To having been an executive in a couple different firms and having been a CIO for a software company. I've chosen to do different things and try different things that have all allowed me to be who I am. Now, could I have stayed with the large organization I was with when I got the MBA and chosen to a more linear career? Yes. Do lots of people do it? Absolutely. I do believe that my track has been more interesting. At least it suited me. But one thing we have in common with those guys is they also never stopped the learning process, never stopped the adding to the skill set and the learning that went on as a result of their MBA. They too, within their organization, tried different things and did different things. And I think that is probably the most important piece. And in fact, when I look at people with advanced degrees, that is my immediate assumption, is that they are of the ilk that will in fact try different things and do different things, and that is what attracts me to them when I see that on their CV or their resume. So, recommendations to pursue new jobs as they become available. I guess my answer is keep your head up. For anybody that would ask, don't assume that things are going to come linearly. In fact, you should probably assume that they won't. And view everything pragmatically. 90% of the opportunities that come my way, I look at and dismiss within a very short period of time. But the 10%, I do take a look at, and they do come, and you have to take a look at them and kind of understand where you're at, what you're doing, how it fits. That said, I will tell you that a career, my opinion is, a career is retrospective. Managing a career forward, if that is your intent, I actually know very few people who have managed to the spot where they said they were going to go over the course of decades. I think that a career is more of a retrospective thing, and that what you should be doing is you should be looking to learn new things, be excited about what you do for work, et cetera, et cetera. And with that in mind, those opportunities will come, and try new stuff. With that in mind, will you make mistakes, and will you take a job you don't want? Yeah, everybody does. But will you also find that it's a fairly rewarding life, having multiple experiences? Yeah, that too. So, I'm done.